Welcome to this special YouTube version of One on One with Mitch Lafon. Joining me this week is blues rock guitarist Hamish Anderson out of Australia. His new EP is called Restless. You can actually check out the video for Burn right here on YouTube. As it is with these special YouTube versions, there are no co-hosts, so we'll get right into it. Here is Hamish Anderson. Uh, New album is Restless, which came out in the fall. Tell me a little bit about the concept behind Restless and your first album. You've gone with EPs. Um, why EPs and not a full length album? Let's start with that.
Yeah, I just think, especially for kind of like emerging artists and artists that are starting out nowadays, EPs are just a really great kind of first step to take, and it's kind of with less songs and unlike an album that doesn't need to be as much flow. So when you're kind of trying to find your sound and experiment with different things, it's a first step, I feel. But yeah, now kind of just beginning the stages of working towards an album. So it really is a completely different thing, and I'm excited to kind of tackle that as well.
Yeah, it really is. Now, is there plans for a full length album at some point, or do you want to just make a third EP and a fourth EP?
Yeah, no, I think I'm heading into this year, end of next month, to start recording like new songs and stuff. And I'm hoping, depending on writing wise and how everything goes, I'm hoping that will be kind of building for the first full length. So yeah, I think only time will tell, but hopefully the next release will be first full length.
Uh, you're a reasonably young person, being only 23, and
Mm-hmm.
yet you've played with BB King. You're doing sort of a blues. I don't want to call it blues rock, but you're doing a more blues kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
How did you come into that sound? I mean, kids your age should be doing rock and roll or heavy metal or dance music or pop. How'd you land into
Yeah,
blues?
yeah, it was. I didn't even know it was just really the music that spoke to me, and I remember kind of the bands that made me really want to play guitar and get into music were bands like the Stones and
Hmm.
Zeppelin and the Beatles and Cream, and it was all like my dad's vinyl collection. And from that, I just got really interested in every time, you see the interview with Eric Clapton or Keith Richards, they always are talking about the blues as the roots of the music that they make and, where they came from and stuff. So from that, I got really interested in blues music, and it hit me hard. And kind of, I think after you hear blues music, it's such an honest and like emotive music that if you respond to it, it's kind of hard to listen to other stuff after that. Like,
Yeah,
just the music, yeah, that really spoke to me, and the music that I kind of feel is most natural for me to play and kind of when I'm being most honest.
does it make it more difficult as an emerging artist to play blues music compared to had you done, more of a pop sound? Do you find it a little more challenging? Do record companies look at you and say, it's not what's on the radio, or is it, or does it make no difference, you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a bit of both. Like it is, blues music has kind of never been at the forefront of like, you know, popular music. Like it's always had an audience, and they always kind of find it, but it's never, been as kind of accessible as like pop music or something. But I think the great thing about blues music is, and those bands like, Zeppelin and Stones and stuff, they did it so well when they would mix blues, with rock and roll or with country music or folk music or even pop music. Like that, for me, blues is just a really kind of special ingredient. And when you mix it with other genres, it kind of can make something really unique and, yeah, really personal.
Yeah, really good. Now, you did get to open for BB King. I mean, that's sort of the godfather of the whole scene. Tell
Mm.
me a little bit about that. I mean, did you walk in there the first day and go, oh my God, it's BB King, or do you just sort of walk there and go, I got a gig to do, it's not a problem?
Yeah, I mean, I was definitely that first show. I was
Yeah.
feeling super nervous and like, yeah, but it was just, for me, really crazy just, coming from Australia and kind of, I remember my dad playing with BB King records and I was like 13, 14, and then just literally, becoming obsessed with BB King and blues music. So it's the type of thing, I would dream about, maybe being able to open for him or something, but you never really I don't know, didn't even think it would be possible. So it definitely was a real and yeah, really memorable and great experience.
Is there anything from that experience that you learned? Did it teach you how to put on a better show, or did he play some riffs and just went, "Wow, I never thought of that"? So what do you
Yeah,
take away from the experience?
I think it's yeah, a lot of things. Definitely, he always kind of had such a great control over his band and the sound, and he's just a really great band leader. So that was definitely something that stuck with me, and definitely the audiences, that especially the blues audiences in that type of situation, kind of they don't muck around, like they really do want to hear blues music and guitar music. So we kind of shape the set to be more of the kind of heavier guitar ones, and it
Right.
definitely is. Go out there and you can see people with crossed arms and stuff, but it's cool once you kind of see it, having an impact and then kind of responding to it.
And seeing it up close. Now, you'll be coming to Canada shortly. You've got Canadian Music Week coming up in Toronto, but then you're coming back for sort of a summer vacation, playing the Festival d'été de Quebec a couple of nights, and then over at the Royal Bank of Canada, Ottawa's Blues Fest.
Yeah,
What can fans expect from you?
yeah. I mean, those I'm super excited about those shows and the lineup, too crazy and stuff. And outset, yeah, I think it'll definitely really kind of showcase new songs as well. Like I'm excited to kind of begin doing that and really kind of I think just the range of like the sets kind of showing that kind of blues guitar stuff and also some different elements and more soul music elements or more folk stuff. So yeah, it'll be really fun. And I've never even been to Canada, so I'm really excited to go there, let alone play at those festivals and yeah, and play to the crowd.
Well, I got to tell you, you certainly picked the best month. July is going to be perfect weather for you. And the Quebec
Oh no.
City, the Festival d'été de Quebec this year has the Rolling Stones playing, and
Yeah.
there's going to be 100,000 people out there.
Yeah, it's really crazy. I'm definitely very excited to watch their set and check it out.
yeah, and you're also at the Ottawa Blues Fest. You're playing right in front of Leonard Skinner, so uh,
Yeah,
not a
which is
bad
cool.
summer vacation, I must say. Um,
No, exactly. Yeah.
Now, before you mentioned that you were going to work on a proper album in terms of full length, what kinds of is it? Are you taking stuff from the first two albums and then sort of writing the same way, or have you changed the writing? What kind of sound are you going for on the full length?
Yeah, I think kind of every time I write a song, I try and maybe let it present itself how it wants to be, and not kind of box it into being blues or being this and that. But I think definitely the new songs kind of maybe have a bit more of maybe even like a soul
Hmm.
element, like a sax record type of thing, and kind of more groove oriented. So yeah, I'm really excited to kind of experiment with that and definitely mix that kind of soul thing with already the blues rock things going on. So yeah, it'll be fun to get working on new songs and really happy with how it's coming along so far.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I've been listening to the Restless EP, and it's just a fine piece of work. I mean, the guitar work on that is just spectacular. Um, you, a lot of people that are going to read this or listen to this don't know who Hamish Anderson is. What should people know about you?
Yeah, I think
What's your
really,
story?
yeah, very much. I think like on the rest of the thing, the live show, very much. It really is. It's just like kind of a band sound, and
Right.
like today's thing, obviously with the pop world and the electronic thing, which is cool. But there's like, my thing is kind of more about being a band and not having kind of tracks or triggers or anything, and just being like a live band playing. So I think that's the thing that I like to get across most is that it really is just people playing instruments and writing songs and stuff like blues music has always been. So that's the main thing I think I'm trying to get across.
Yeah, and listen, from what I've heard, it's working. And then I'll finish
Yeah.
with this. You got to work with producer and engineer Chris Sharma, I should say,
Mhm.
who has worked with the Rolling Stones and the Counting Crows, among others. What was that experience like?
It was great. Yeah, Chris was really great, and he's a really great guy and super talented. And I think it was, yeah, obviously his work with like the Stones really attracted me, and especially tracks like Burn and stuff. I wanted to really not really do many overdubs and kind of record live as a band and capture that sound. And Chris is really great at doing that and has such a great knowledge of like, miking live bands and amps and stuff with it. And yeah, he's really the perfect person to work with for that.
That's actually a very important point. When you record, are you sort of four on the floor where everybody just plugs in and plays and that's what you record? Or is it a lot of Pro Tools and studio trickery? What's your
Yeah,
preference
no, definitely this album in particular, I was really adamant about. I wanted it to be everyone playing on the floor and
right,
like, I'd maybe get another guitar later or something, but really wanted to minimize doing overdubs and stuff because I think it's just too easy to do these days, and it never has the same feeling as all those like Stones records or the Who records or whatever it was when that was the way they did it when they would just go in and play and that was that. Like it's more about capturing an overall feeling and making sure every little vocal thing is perfectly in tune or every little drum thing is perfectly tracked. Like
right.
it's more about capturing kind of the feelings of the song and the live playing.
Well, you need the energy. I mean, that's the thing about this style of music. It needs that honesty. It needs that sort of sweat and tears and rawness.
Exactly.
You
Yeah,
can't
exactly.
you can't strip it down in a studio. You know, the Pro Tools is for Britney Spears. Blues music has to be live. It has to have that vibe.
Exactly. It's the music. It's all based on feeling, like rock and roll is and stuff. So it's really the only way to go about it, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolute pleasure speaking with you today, and I certainly look forward to the Festival d'été de Québec and, of course, the Ottawa's Blues Fest. You're going to have a great time. I'm telling you, it's going to be. I've been to both festivals, and you're going to have an incredible time.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited for both of them. So it'll be fun.
Yeah, and thank you for your time today. It's been an absolute
Yeah,
pleasure.
thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Cheers.
That was my interview with Hamish Anderson, the blues rock guitarist out of Australia. The new EP is called Restless, so check that out. And also check me out on Twitter. Follow me at Mitch Lafon and head over to Facebook and like the One on One with Mitch Lafon Facebook page. That's all, folks. Cheers.